my mom was the nicest person, the most caring person, and for you to take her out of my life like that hurts my heart so much.
The man accused of killing a Detroit mom while her kids were home will be in court.
When I see your wife, I'm gonna kill her. That's because
No,
my wife.
no,
That's because my wife was dead, and I'm going through my mind crazy. Okay, and you guys question me. I know. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Let's do this. I was wrong, and I'm sorry, and ain't no way I can repay this. It's between me and the Lord now. I just want to let y'all know that I have repented with every bone in my body, and I can never take this back down here on this earth. And I just want to let y'all know that the Lord gave me a dream that she's with the Lord. And that's the only thing that kept me from killing myself.
On Father's Day, June 18, 2017, Latrice Morris Dorsey's life was brutally taken. The 42-year-old mother of two was gunned down in her own home as an assailant fired 10 shots at her. The tragedy happened in the most heartbreaking way possible, with her children nearby. Her 4-year-old daughter Jada was forced to witness the unthinkable as her mother was murdered before her innocent eyes, while in another room her 14-year-old son Justin remained unknowingly absorbed in his video game. The muffled sound of a heated argument broke through his headphones. It wasn't unusual for his mother and her boyfriend to have loud disagreements, so he brushed it off, assuming it was just another intense misunderstanding. But as the shouting escalated, a sharp, unmistakable noise, a gunshot, pierced the air. Caught up in his game, he dismissed it as part of the action on his screen. His momentary sense of reassurance was shattered when his sister Jada frantically tapped him on the arm, her words cutting through his denial. "My mom is dead. He killed my mom. My mom is shot." Panic replaced his disbelief. Dropping his controller, he leapt up and ran toward the scene. What he found was worse than anything he could have imagined. His mother lay motionless, life slipping away. Desperate, he knelt beside her, holding her in his arms, clinging to the fragile hope that she could be saved. But it was already too late. She took her final breath in his embrace. This is the heartbreaking story of Latrice Morris Dorsey. Before we begin, we would like to extend our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Latrice, as well as everyone affected by this horrific tragedy. Today we take you to Detroit, Michigan, a city with a complex history marked by resilience and hardship. Detroit, often referred to as Motor City or Motown, has long struggled with high crime rates. Beginning in the 1970s and persisting through the 1980s and 1990s, the city faced rising violence, driven by economic decline, population loss, and systemic poverty. By those decades, Detroit was often ranked among the most dangerous cities in the United States. In recent years, revitalization efforts and community programs have brought some signs of hope and improvement, yet many neighborhoods continue to grapple with entrenched challenges. Unfortunately, these efforts would not be enough to prevent the tragic events that unfolded for Latrice Morris Dorsey on that fateful day. Latrice Morris Dorsey was born and raised in the vibrant city of Detroit, Michigan. Her early years were deeply rooted in a strong sense of community and family values, shaping her into the devoted and loving mother she would later become. Growing up, Latrice was part of a close-knit family. Her father and her siblings provided a nurturing environment that encouraged her growth and development. Her childhood was filled with love, support, and endless encouragement to chase her dreams. Latrice's educational journey played a pivotal role in her life. She attended local schools in Detroit, where she not only excelled academically but also cultivated a deep passion for helping others. Her interest in healthcare inspired her to pursue a career in physical therapy, a field where she could make a tangible difference in people's lives. After completing her education, Latrice became a dedicated physical therapist. Her work was more than just a profession, it was her calling. She took immense joy in helping patients recover and regain their strength, and her compassion and expertise earned her a place in the hearts of many within her community. Latrice's life took a significant turn when she met Paul Dorsey. They fell deeply in love, quickly got married, and built a life together, welcoming 3 beautiful children into their family. For a time, their life seemed pictured to them. However, over the years, differences between them began to surface. Despite their best efforts, the challenges proved too difficult to overcome, and they eventually decided that separating was the best path forward for both of them. During this time, Latrice met Earl Maxwell, a man who seemed to be the solution to her relationship struggles. Their connection developed quickly, and over the next 4 years their relationship blossomed. Maxwell became an integral part of her life, even building a bond with her children, who were still quite young when he entered their lives. At the time, Justin was in middle school and Jada was in elementary school. As Maxwell grew closer to the family, the couple shared many happy moments together. His devotion to Latrice seemed unwavering, even to the point of getting her name tattooed on his left arm as a symbol of his commitment. However, as time went on, troubling signs began to emerge. Maxwell's behavior became increasingly controlling and violent toward Latrice. His once devoted demeanor shifted into something far more concerning, and their relationship took a dark turn. Unable to endure the escalating abuse, Latrice made the difficult decision to end the relationship and cut off all contact with him. Determined to move forward, she changed her phone number to prevent Maxwell from reaching her. Maxwell, however, refused to accept the breakup and became consumed by anger. His desperation to reconnect with Latrice led him to contact her estranged husband, Paul Dorsey. Over a series of threatening phone calls, Maxwell's rage became increasingly evident. He explicitly told Paul of his intentions to harm Latrice, revealing just how far his obsession had gone. In fact, Maxwell called Paul at least 20 times, and in each of those calls, he repeated the same chilling words, making his dangerous state of mind clear. Paul, like most people confronted with alarming news, tried to calm Maxwell down, urging him to be patient and rational. A part of him struggled to fully grasp the seriousness of the situation.
Say the first time you spoke.
When I see your wife, I'm going to kill her. The second time he called, he reiterated that he was going to hurt her.
Well, no, sir.
What did I just say? I said, first time I said, he called back, he said he'd kill her. He called back 5 minutes later, told me he wasn't going to kill her. But that's what he said. He said twice he was going to kill her.
Okay, but that's not what's in your statement, is it?
Yeah, that's because, let me tell you why. That's because my wife was dead, and I'm going through my mind crazy, okay? And you guys question me. I know. Go ahead, do your thing.
Let's do this.
It's not uncommon for someone to initially dismiss such threats as nothing more than angry outbursts made in the heat of the moment. After all, it's easy to assume that emotions will settle with time. But this reaction often comes from not knowing the full extent of the story. You see, Latrice hadn't just ended her relationship with Maxwell. She had also started seeing someone new. This was the true source of Maxwell's escalating anger and irrational behavior. Determined to rebuild her life, Latrice moved into a new home on the west side of Detroit, on the 20,000 block of Avon Avenue. It was meant to be a fresh start for her and her children, a chance to leave behind the painful past and look toward a brighter future. However, Maxwell's inability to accept the breakup drove him to extremes. He began showing up at her new address and threatening her. How he managed to find her location wasn't entirely surprising. His desperation and obsessive behavior made such actions almost inevitable. Yet, his relentless pursuit of Latrice would soon have devastating consequences. Throughout it all, Latrice's response was a testament to her strength, resilience, and unwavering love for her family. But on one fateful Father's Day in 2017, everything would change. The devastating events that followed would forever alter the lives of Latrice and her loved ones. On June 18, 2017, Latrice Morris Dorsey's life was tragically taken in a horrific act of domestic violence. That morning, Latrice was preparing to visit her sister's house for Father's Day. Her day began like any other, filled with the usual activities. Her 4-year-old daughter, Jada, stayed close by as Latrice got ready, while her 14-year-old son, Justin, was in his bedroom, engrossed in playing video games. As Latrice went about her routine, her ex-boyfriend, Earl Maxwell, arrived at her home unexpectedly. Upon his arrival, an argument broke out between the two. Voices quickly rose as the tension escalated. From his room, Justin could hear the loud arguing, even though he was wearing his headset while playing video games. At first, he didn't realize how serious the situation had become. Meanwhile, Jada was present in the room, witnessing the confrontation firsthand. The argument soon reached a breaking point. In a horrifying turn of events, Earl Maxwell pulled out a pistol and fired multiple shots at Latrice. According to later testimony, he shot her a total of 10 times. This brutal act took place in the presence of her children. Jada witnessed the entire incident unfold before her eyes, while Justin, still in his room, heard the gunshots but didn't immediately grasp what had happened. The devastating reality became clear when Jada, crying and terrified, ran to Justin's room. She screamed, "My mom is dead. He killed my mom. My mom is shot." It was then that Justin realized the unthinkable tragedy that had occurred in their home. Justin was shocked into action by his sister's cries. He immediately ran into the living room, where he found his mother lying on the floor, mortally wounded. Overcome with emotion, he cradled her in his arms as she took her final breaths. The scene was chaotic and deeply traumatic, with Jada crying and struggling to understand the horror that had just unfolded before her. Earl Maxwell, having committed the heinous act, fled the scene in a dark-colored vehicle, leaving behind a shattered family. Hearing the gunshots, neighbors rushed to the scene, but tragically, it was too late to save Latrice. One neighbor, Ron Wilson, attempted to perform CPR on her. He later described the heart-wrenching moment, saying he noticed the bullet wounds and that she took her final 2 breaths as he tried to revive her. Despite his efforts, Latrice succumbed to her injuries.
My mama's been shot, my mama gonna die. I don't know if he didn't kill my mama, I don't know what's going to be CPR, and, I noticed the bullet wounds. I noticed she took her last 2 breaths.
Emergency services were called, and both police and medical personnel quickly arrived at the scene. Upon their arrival, Latrice Morris Dorsey was pronounced dead, the result of multiple gunshot wounds. Police immediately secured the area and began their investigation, collecting witness statements and physical evidence. Justin recounted seeing a man running from the house and driving away in a dark-colored vehicle. His description proved critical in helping authorities identify the suspect. The police wasted no time broadcasting the details of the suspect and the vehicle to all units. A massive manhunt was launched to locate Earl Maxwell. Officers canvassed the area, interviewed witnesses, and reviewed surveillance footage in an effort to track him down. The community was also alerted, with officials urging residents to remain vigilant and report any sightings of Maxwell or the vehicle. Just days after the incident, Maxwell turned himself in at the Detroit Police Department. He was taken into custody and charged with first-degree murder, as well as a felony firearms violation. Maxwell's decision to surrender was likely influenced by the mounting evidence against him and the relentless police search. During the investigation and subsequent court proceedings, it was revealed that Maxwell had made numerous threatening phone calls to Latrice's estranged husband, Paul Dorsey, in the days leading up to the tragedy. These chilling revelations painted a clear picture of Maxwell's escalating anger and intent, leading to the devastating events that ended Latrice's life. In the days leading up to the murder, Paul Dorsey testified that Earl Maxwell made chilling threats, stating, "When I see your wife, I am going to end her."
Say the first time you spoke.
When I see your wife, I'm going to kill her.
Maxwell repeated this threat in subsequent phone calls, leaving no doubt about his premeditated intent and escalating anger toward Latrice. The second time he said he was going to hurt her. However, for reasons that raised eyebrows, Paul initially provided a different account in his statement to the police. This discrepancy almost became a critical advantage for Maxwell's defense attorney during the trial. Paul later clarified the confusion, explaining that he was under intense pressure from the police. With his wife's life in danger and officers rushing him, he felt he wasn't given enough time to provide a detailed and accurate account.
Well, no, sir.
What did I just say? I said, first time I said, he called back, he said he killed her. He called back 5 minutes later, told me he wasn't going to kill her. But that's what he said. He said twice he was going to kill her.
Okay, but that's not what's in your statement, is it?
Yeah, that's because, let me tell you why. That's because
No,
my wife was dead, and I'm going through my mind crazy, okay? And you guys question me. I know. Go ahead, do your thing.
Let's do this.
Meanwhile, Maxwell claimed that the shooting was accidental, insisting that the 10 shots he fired were a mistake. Unsurprisingly, this explanation was met with skepticism, especially in light of the repeated threats and the deliberate nature of his actions. During one tense moment in court, Maxwell's emotions got the better of him. He erupted, claiming that he and Latrice were still together when she started seeing someone else. His outburst painted a picture of jealousy and obsession, but it also undermined his defense. Those present in court quickly intervened, calming him down, likely recognizing that his behavior was damaging his case further. After regaining his composure, Maxwell expressed remorse for his actions, acknowledging that he couldn't undo the damage he had caused.
We were supposed to be dating. We were still dating until this plumber guy came along. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. But I was wrong. I was wrong, and I'm sorry, and ain't no way I can repay this. It's between me and the Lord now. I just want to let y'all know that I have repented with every bone in my body, and I can never take this back down here on this earth. And I just want to let y'all know that the Lord gave me a dream that she's with the Lord, and that's the only thing that kept me from killing myself.
However, the prosecution was quick to emphasize that remorse alone wasn't enough to absolve him of responsibility. The prosecution built a compelling case, arguing that the number of shots fired, combined with Maxwell's prior threats, made it clear this was no accident. They described the act as a deliberate and calculated act of violence, leaving no room for doubt about his intent.
In his statement, claims that he accidentally shot Ms. Dorsey 10 times. He specifically indicates that he accidentally shot her in the back of the head, in her hands, throughout her body.
Latrice's family was left heartbroken by her tragic death. Her father, James Morris, expressed his profound grief, saying, "I had 3 daughters, 3 beautiful daughters, and he put a hole in my heart." Her sister, Megan Morris, spoke out about the profound pain and injustice of the situation. She emphasized the cruelty of the murder's timing, on Father's Day, a day that should have been a celebration for their father. Instead, it became a day marked by unspeakable loss. She said, "I hate that he had that power to take that life from us, from her kids, from her father on Father's Day." She further explained that, "My sister took her last breaths in my nephew's arms."
Him to see his mama take her last breath and him trying to help her live and then him running outside screaming, "Help, help, help." That's sad. Yeah. You know, we all lose loved ones every day, but to see your mom just die in front of you and under those circumstances, that's the sad part. If somebody know where he's at, you are just as guilty as him. The fact that you are hiding him, the fact that you are helping him hide.
For Latrice's loved ones, the tragedy was not only a personal loss but also a reminder of the devastating consequences of domestic violence. The family's emotional statements during the trial and sentencing hearings highlighted the profound and lasting impact of Latrice Morris Dorsey's death. They spoke of the immeasurable loss of a loving mother, sister, and daughter, and the deep trauma her children would carry for the rest of their lives. Maxwell's trial became a somber reflection of the devastation caused by domestic violence, with emotional testimony from Latrice's family and friends bringing the courtroom to tears. The prosecution presented compelling evidence of Maxwell's premeditated intent, including his repeated threatening phone calls and the brutal act of shooting Latrice multiple times. Despite Maxwell's insistence that the shooting was accidental, the evidence against him told a different story. The jury ultimately found him guilty of first-degree murder and a felony firearms violation.
Raw emotion today inside a Detroit courtroom as Earl Maxwell was sentenced for the cold-blooded murder of his girlfriend.
Making matters worse is what Maxwell said to the court before his sentence was handed down. Let's get right to Mara McDonald. She's live tonight. Mara, he reportedly said he loved her.
In June 2018, Earl Maxwell was sentenced to 25 to 50 years in prison for the murder of Latrice. While the sentence marked the conclusion of the legal process, it offered little solace to Latrice's grieving family. The judge and prosecutors underscored the heinous nature of the crime, particularly the fact that it was committed in front of her young children, Justin and Jada. The emotional scars left by such an event were expected to haunt them for the rest of their lives. Justin, who had cradled his mother in his arms during her final moments, showed incredible strength and resilience in the aftermath of the tragedy. Despite the immense pain, he pressed forward with his education and graduated from high school with a good CGPA, a testament to his determination to honor his mother's memory and build a future despite the immense hardship he endured. Earning a football scholarship to Ferris State University, Justin's journey stands as a testament to the strength, resilience, and values that Latrice instilled in her children.
I'm really happy. I'm happy it's over with. I miss my friends and stuff, but I mean, you gotta grow up in life sooner or later. I walk in the hallway and my little sister runs out, she says, "Mom just got shot, Mom just got shot." I'm like, what do you mean? You can't describe it. You have to actually lose a parent just like how I did to really know the feeling that I felt. To go to school, I had to stop all that and actually get right. I had to, because if I didn't, I mean, I wouldn't have what I want right now. I knew at the end of the day, I had to work hard for what I want, and that was to go to college on a scholarship to play my favorite sport and major in what my mom always wanted to, just to get the degree she didn't have, to make her proud, because I knew I wanted it for myself. We all want to be successful, but first you have to want it for yourself, and that is what I achieved. She supported me through everything, and just for me to accomplish my dreams and goals, I really wish she could see me.
It's heartbreaking that Latrice, who had given so much of herself for her children's futures, could not live to witness their achievements and milestones. Imagine reaching significant accomplishments, only to be reminded that the person who sacrificed the most for your success is no longer there to celebrate with you. For Justin, it must have been an overwhelming mix of pride and sorrow. The tragedy of Latrice Morris Dorsey's death sent shockwaves through her community, underscoring the devastating consequences of domestic violence. It became a stark reminder of the urgent need for greater resources and support for victims. Her community rallied around her family, particularly her children, offering emotional and practical support as they faced the aftermath of this life-altering trauma. Latrice's story serves as a call to action, urging society to address domestic violence head-on. It highlights the importance of recognizing early warning signs, emotional manipulation, control, threats, and fear, before situations escalate into tragedy. This case underscores the critical need for robust support systems, such as accessible legal aid, counseling, and safe shelters, to empower victims and provide them with options for safety and recovery. As we reflect on Latrice's life and untimely death, her memory challenges us to combat domestic violence with greater urgency, spreading awareness, taking meaningful action, and showing compassion to those at risk. Yet, one lingering question remains. Why did Latrice's ex-husband, Paul, wait until it was too late to reveal Maxwell's threatening behavior? Was it a failure of judgment, or could there have been underlying motives? What if Paul had acted sooner? Could Latrice's life have been saved? This raises an important societal question. Should there be legal consequences for individuals who fail to report credible threats or imminent danger? How many lives could be spared if accountability extended beyond the perpetrators to include those who knowingly remain silent? Latrice's tragic case urges us to consider how we, as a society, can better protect those at risk and hold individuals accountable when inaction contributes to devastating outcomes. Thank you for watching another video of Truth in Crimes. Share your thoughts about this heartbreaking case in the comments below. We value your input. We dedicate ourselves to delivering accurate and compelling true crime stories using information from reliable sources. If you appreciated this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on future uploads. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon with another captivating story.